There once lived a young woman of great beauty who had been deeply hurt by her husband's infidelity with her closest friend. The feeling of betrayal and humiliation had taken over her heart, and she found it hard to move past the pain and resentment. One day, as the young woman took a walk in the park, she sat down on a bench to reflect on her pain. A stranger sitting on the bench next to hers appeared to be lost in thought, gazing at the trees and river nearby. Without warning, the stranger spoke up. Nature is so resilient. No matter the harsh weather or damage, it always finds a way to survive and thrive. Such a valuable lesson for us all, don't you think? The young woman was unsure if the stranger was talking to her, but replied, "I suppose so." She then jokingly asked, "Do you think nature can solve my problems?" The stranger looked at her and said, "You'd be surprised what you can learn from nature. I haven't had a problem yet that nature didn't have an answer for. Well, if nature has the answers to take away the pain of the love of your life cheating on you, then I'm all ears." The stranger noticed the pain in her eyes and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "I'm so sorry to hear about the betrayal you've experienced," the stranger empathized. They then both gazed at the rushing river. After a short pause, the stranger posed a question. "Suppose I wanted to control the flow of the river. Do you think I could stop its flow if I stuck my hand in it?" The young woman shook her head and said, "Of course not." The stranger then drew a parallel. "Just as I cannot control the flow of the river with my hand, we cannot control the actions of others. However, we do have the power to control how we perceive and interpret those actions, which ultimately shape our reality. While it's natural to feel hurt and angry, it's crucial to find a way to move past those emotions and find inner peace." The young woman listened and, with tears welling up in her eyes, asked, "But how do I do that?" The stranger pointed to a nearby tree and said, "Consider that tree. It sheds its leaves every fall, letting go of what no longer serves it. It then grows new leaves in the spring. It doesn't hold on to the old leaves or resent the fact that they fell off. It simply moves on and continues to grow stronger." We can learn a lot from nature's ability to let go and move forward. The young woman listened carefully and asked, "But how can I forgive someone who has hurt me so deeply?" The stranger then gestured towards a beautiful butterfly resting on a nearby flower and said, "Observe how the butterfly had to break free from its cocoon to transform into the beautiful creature you see before you. Similarly, we too must break free from the pain of our past experiences to transform into a new person that can reach our full potential." The stranger continued, "Just as the butterfly that refuses to break free from its cocoon becomes weak and unable to fly, holding on to our anger and resentment can leave us feeling trapped and unable to move forward. When we hold on to our anger and resentment, we only harm ourselves. But when we forgive, we give ourselves the opportunity to heal and grow. It's a powerful process of transformation, much like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly." The young woman took a deep breath and wiped away her tears. She felt the truth of the stranger's words sink deep in her inner core, and she felt it was finally time for her to start the process of healing and forgiveness. She thanked the stranger for her wisdom and started walking back to her home, feeling more hopeful than she had in a long time. As she walked, the wise stranger's words filled her with hope and purpose. She looked around her, taking in the beauty of the trees and the birds singing in the distance. She thought about how nature was constantly renewing itself, shedding what was no longer needed and growing stronger. The young woman decided to start her own process of renewal. She went home and started writing down all the negative emotions she had been holding on to. The anger, the resentment, and the pain. She wrote until she felt like she had emptied all of it out of her system. Then she went outside and found a quiet spot by a stream. She read aloud what she had written down, imagining all the pain and negativity flowing out of her and into the stream to be carried away by the water. As she gazed at the flowing stream, the young woman noticed the large rocks and fallen branches that hindered its path. She heard the stream teach her that the path of forgiveness would also be filled with obstacles and challenges. However, she observed how the stream did not cling to those obstacles, but rather flowed around and through them, continuing on its course without being swayed. It dawned on her that by following the stream's example and flowing forward without holding on to any past or future obstacles, she could attain the inner peace and transformation she was seeking. With each passing day, the young woman felt the weight of anger and pain lifting, replaced by a growing sense of strength and confidence. She worked hard to let go of negative emotions and forgive those who had hurt her, chipping away at her cocoon little by little. And as she did, she began to sense the stirrings of transformation taking place deep within her, and the world began to take on a new light. Through her unwavering patience and persistent efforts, the young woman finally reached the point where she was ready to fully break free from her prison and take flight. As she emerged, she felt a newfound sense of freedom and liberation, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Her spirit was renewed, and her heart was unburdened from the weight of the past. She was now fully prepared to embrace all that life had to offer, and to soar towards her dreams with renewed vigor, no longer constrained by the cocoon of her past. One day, as the young woman was passing by the same bench in the park where she had met the wise stranger, she noticed her former husband and best friend walking towards her, hand in hand. Though she was momentarily overwhelmed with pain and anger, the transformation she had undergone helped her find a new perspective. She gazed upon the river nearby and was reminded of the lessons she had learned and how far she had come in her transformation. And she acknowledged her negative emotions, but she did not cling on to them, and she chose to let them flow out of her into the river to be carried away by the current. Her newfound inner strength enabled her to quickly let go of her negative emotions. As she walked up to her former husband and best friend, she was able to greet them with a calm acceptance. This encounter proved to be a testament to herself, of her growth, and the power of forgiveness in mending old wounds. During their conversation, the young woman discovered she could fully forgive them, not because what they had done was okay, but because she had finally released herself from the burden of pain and negativity that had weighed her down for so long. With a newfound sense of hope, rejuvenation, love and forgiveness. The young woman closed the chapter on her past and opened up a new one in her life. She was forever thankful for the wise stranger who helped her uncover nature's hidden secrets, showing her how to walk the path of life with purpose, forgiveness, and inner peace. She came to understand that nature is a boundless teacher, and the possibilities for growth and transformation are endless. During her journey, she realized that the key to unlocking nature's wisdom lies within us all. And to access it, we simply need to quiet our minds and listen to the gentle whispers that surround us.